Okay, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Aphrodite, and this is Aphrodite's house. And I am back to you with another Astral Projection story time. Yeah. I was debating about whether or not I was going to do this one. You have to excuse me. I'm so used to the camera being the opposite direction, so like I'm having to get used to looking out over here. But yeah, so I was debating about whether or not I was going to do this video because I didn't really feel comfortable talking about it the first time around, but it's been a minute. I don't give a shit, so let's talk about it. So there was a time when I didn't really realize I was astral projecting. I thought I was really just dreaming the whole time. So this was like early on when I was still progressing and like learning about my abilities. And I saw into my now ex's mind. This wasn't a thing of like this wasn't a thing of like, oh, you can see like how they process things. No, this was like in their mind. So this was like I walked to a door. I had someone with me. It was a male guide. I mean, I know who it is now, who the male guide is now, but back then I didn't know. And it was almost like a condo or an apartment complex that had two floors, but like you I knocked on the door and he opened the door. It was like he opened the door to his mind for me. So when I went inside, it was a mess. It was a mess. There was like frat guys fighting. There was like guys chugging beer. There was like naked dudes on the floor. I'm like, what is your mind compiled of right now? What is this? And I walked in and I kind of just looked around, and one of the guys comes up to me and he goes, "You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here?" And in my mind, I'm looking around at the way that his mind is just a mess. And I look at the guy and I kind of tilt my head and I go, "Well, he let me in. I'm his girlfriend. What are you doing here? Why are you living in his mind literally rent free?" I was learning that they were experiences, things that he had gone through or like had seen. Some of the stuff I had seen, I can't talk about on this channel. It was very much, you would, a lot of hazing type thing, just a mess. You could tell that it was a mixture of like stress from hazing from whatever fraternity he was trying to get into or got into. It was like just really weird, like ritualistic-y type, you know what I mean? But it's like it's college. It's college. But you know what I mean? Like all fraternities at some point lead back to, you know. So I'm always wary of people who are willing to join particular fraternities and go through the very unique hazing process and all of that. I kind of have to side eye you at this point. I mean, the things that I don't know how it is now, but the things that they used to have you do, the things you would hear about, the things that they would spiritually warn you about, because it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and that's a bond spiritually that you make. And I think people think that it's nothing. Oh, it's something. There's a reason why you do these things, and it opens doors for you. But his mind was just a feeble mess. It was a mess. There was trash everywhere. You couldn't navigate anything within the mind without getting lost. So it was really easy to see why he was overly anxious. There was a lot of just experiences that he couldn't seem to let go of or find space for. His subconscious didn't want to hold those things. They're very much in the forefront of his mind, meaning the minute you stepped foot into the apartment or the condo or whatever it was just there. It was compiled. It was a mess. It was in your face. It was hard to avoid. It was a very stressful situation. All I could remember feeling was, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. But I had my guide with me, and this was very important because they needed me to see the shattered parts of his mind. They needed me to understand why he was doing things the way he was doing things, why he was moving the way he was moving, why he was treating me the way he was treating me. And we both kind of knew that the relationship was a scattered mess because I had just allowed so much because I didn't want to deal with it. I had my own shit going on, and I just didn't want to deal. He didn't want to be with someone like me. I think he felt like he settled when he dated me. I was the interesting spiritual chick with, all this occult knowledge and information, and it was cool. And I think that was the wave he was trying to ride for a minute. It was terrifying because I knew that I had the ability to read people. I knew I had the ability to feel what was going on. I knew I had the ability to talk to people's guides, see their guides hanging around them. I knew that I was able to do these things, but I had never actually been in someone's mind, right? And there's this feeling of, if I don't get the hell up out of here, I'm going to be stuck here. I'm going to be stuck in your mind. And I think a lot of that was a warning as well, like, hey, be careful of the company you keep because you're a Pisces. But my whole chart is just mutable, basically. Like, I'm pretty much, there's very little fire, there's very little air. It's mostly water and earth in my chart. And so I'm very adaptable. Back then, because I wasn't very well spiritually amped up, I was also very susceptible to kind of morphing into whomever I was with. I mean, and that happens to everyone, but being someone like me, this is like, I can feel everything you feel, and I can process why you feel that way. So when I feel that way, I can now do the exact same thing. It's kind of creepy. Dating an ungrounded, mutable, like, water sign is the worst, and I can say that as that being the person that I was. Thank goodness now I have a partner who is very grounding. Who's very grounding and will not stand for me keeping my head in the clouds too much. He's very helpful with the, okay, babe, you need to, I get it, but you need to come back down to earth just a little bit. You need to settle just a little bit. Let's talk these things through. You can't be living in your head 24/7. And so I think this experience with my ex, really seeing into his mind, was the truth. You cannot live in your head 24/7. Holy shit, that shit was terrifying to witness. I was scared for him. Yeah, and it's just crazy that I recorded another video earlier talking about karmic friendships and relationships and things like that. And this was one of the most karmic relationships I had ever been in my life, because I had just accepted so much. I just accepted so much. Because I didn't want to see it and I didn't want to deal. And that was the first instance of, you're not going to learn to trust your intuition. We're going to block you from things. That was the first real instance that I got fed that. So I had to grow the fuck up real quick. And seeing inside this individual's mind was that wake up call. There was some things I can't unsee. Now I'm not saying it was anything like, someone was hurt. Fill in the blank there. It was nothing like that. It was just, I couldn't believe the amount of shit they were willing to accept from these individuals. And now these individuals, parts of these individuals, their energies living rent free in his mind. I didn't get back far enough to look through the doors, Everyone has doors to the subconscious, doors from past lives and things of that nature, so that you can see kind of why this person is here or existing in this I didn't get that far. I didn't want to. I got to the second floor and was immediately chased by 3 dudes because I was the only woman in the building. I don't understand if they were trying to chase me out or what, but I was so terrified that I somehow manifested my father to show up. I had my guide with me. That wasn't the point, but my dad showed up briefly and was like, if you don't start throwing shit, so I was top floor throwing shit down. I got in and I barricaded myself, and I was like, I need to get the hell up out of here. And my protector, my guide, was kind enough to zap me up out of there. I woke up, but it was a situation of, you really never know what's going on inside someone's head, because I didn't realize that you could have people in there like that. Like, I knew that you could have energies from the past who maybe didn't reincarnate or something like that, kind of tailing you, watching you, or sucking, being stuck to memories in your subconscious deep down from past lives to kind of gang stalk you and fuck your shit up. Like, I knew that that was a thing. I didn't realize that current energies too could just kind of live up there rent free. So now I get the expression, and I will not be allowing anyone to live rent free in my fucking brain. Not ever. Not after that shit. That was mortifying. Yeah. So if you have a friend and they sound kind of like this, like overly compartmentalized, overly anxious, not really talking about it, puts up a good front, but when you look in their eyes, they're kind of cold, check on them, because they're the ones who really got some shit going on up there. Like really just have some shit. Check on them. Check on them. But me and this person don't talk anymore. Yeah. We don't talk anymore. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, my exes and I will be cordial enough to be friends. There's a lot of energy in the room right now, and I'm just trying to process that. It's making me very tired. So I apologize. But, yeah. Sometimes if I'm very lucky, my exes and I can remain friends because we were friends before we started dating. So when we went through the courting stage and it just didn't work, then it just didn't work. To me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going back to the friendship stage. If the friendship was really good, there's no karmic cycles that you need to work through anymore, or that, there's no karmic debt here, or they're just genuinely good people. I believe that you can figure it out. I think a lot of the times people just prefer to be immature about the whole thing. Cosmic connections don't work with the way that society tries to deem things to work. Sometimes someone is not meant to be a lover. They're meant to be a business partner. Sometimes someone is not meant to be your husband. They're meant to be someone who you do specific things with. And sometimes you need to go through that trial and error to learn that. But to completely block off someone after that experience because it didn't work made absolutely no sense to me. Spirit wouldn't have introduced them into your life if there wasn't a soulful, meaningful purpose. And if the purpose was karma and the karma was completed, then that's different. If the cycle was broken, if the chains were broken from past life experiences and things of that nature, then that's different, But that's a whole other video. So it was a crazy time, but that's what I've got for you. That was like one of the craziest. I've gone to some crazy places. Like, I've seen people who are half man, half spider. That's going to be another video. But this one I feel like needed to come out first because I have been kind of delaying it for a minute. So yeah, that's what I've got for you. If you like this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down in the comment section if you've ever been inside someone's mind or been guided into someone's mind to see particular things. Yeah, let's talk about it. If there's any type of video you'd like to see or a topic you'd like me to discuss, let me know that too, and we can kind of get into that. But until then, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you stay blessed. I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening. I hope you thrive under the sun. I hope you have rich risings and bountiful evenings. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.